Hey guys, welcome to the Cinema Corral. This is the section of my YouTube channel where I talk about the latest releases and let you know if they're worth your time and money. In this video, I'm talking about the movies that came out the week of August 30th, 2019. That includes Don't Let Go and Bennetts War. I know I'm really late on this, but I'm doing it anyway. Let's begin. First up, we got Bennetts War, and this movie tells the story of a guy. He was a soldier, and he got blown up overseas fighting in a war. He's a motorcycle rider for the army, and so he suffers an injury to his leg, meaning that he can't ride motorcycles anymore, which is something that he's very passionate about. He was about to go pro before he went and enlisted in the army, and so this movie tells the story of him trying to get back on the bike and keep riding. This movie is passable. It's nothing really extraordinary. I think we had it for about a week and then it left, which is really a testament to the lack of, promotional material for this movie. I didn't see a single advertisement for this thing, and I've seen every movie that we've shown since February. And two, just the lack of interest from general audiences. And honestly, I don't blame them. This movie really is nothing special. It's slightly higher than a TV movie, but it's also not really at that standard for really warranting being released to theaters. I can't really say it's like a Hallmark movie or something like that. It's really more like a direct-to-DVD, or I guess now direct-to-Netflix kind of movie. And this film really is riddled with a lot of tropes that you've seen in other sports movies. It's not uninteresting to watch, and it is certainly watchable enough, more like background noise than anything. But I can't really fully recommend it because it's not well written. A lot of the dialogue is pretty hokey, and there are some scenes where the acting is kind of bad. There's not really a lot going on here cinematography-wise. There's not really any interesting shots or edits, and it's really run-of-the-mill. If the rise, the fall, the rise again. The most interesting sections of this movie really are watching the main guy, Bennett. I think the guy's name is Marshall Bennett, racing, and it is just because it is change of pace and you really don't have all that much going on dialogue-wise to really bog down the film. Again, still nothing extraordinary, but it's entertaining enough. There's really not that much to say, and I hate to say it, but I've already forgotten a majority of this movie. When I saw this before, I went to San Francisco, and nothing really stuck with me. The acting here isn't entirely awful. There are some performances here that are decent enough, but I don't think anybody's really going to be getting any award nominations for this thing. This is really just kind of a blink and you'll miss it kind of movie, and honestly, if you miss it, it's really not going to impact you all that negatively. I didn't hate it, but I also wasn't blown away. I'm going to go ahead and give Bennetts War a C-. If you're interested in this kind of movie, if it's on Netflix or whatever, you might have some mild entertainment out of it, but it's really not something that I can fully recommend paying money to see. Next up, we have Don't Let Go, and this is the latest film from Blumhouse. Normally they do horror films, but this is more of a thriller, a crime thriller kind of thing, where a cop, his family gets murdered, and after the funeral, he gets a phone call from his niece who was murdered. And so he and his niece are trying to figure out who murdered the family and how to stop it. It's kind of a time travel movie. There are other films kind of like this. I haven't personally seen any of them, but I know that they exist. But to me, this reminded me a lot of that episode of the original Twilight Zone series where the boy gets a toy phone and he gets a call from his dead grandmother and he's communicating with her. I know this movie and that episode go in completely different directions with that concept, but that's what it really reminded me of. David Aiello plays the lead here, and he's pretty good. He always turns in a pretty strong performance. Storm Reid plays his niece, Ashley. I didn't think that she was all that good. I'm not going to be too harsh since she is a child actress, but I feel like the director could have given her better direction in terms of her performance. It's just not all there for me. Speaking of things that are not all there, the script is really lacking. There are a lot of underwritten scenes. There are a lot of scenes that are overwritten. There's a scene with Aiello and Reid in a diner, and there's chewing gum involved, and it just drags. And that's really the thing. This movie is just kind of boring. I found myself checking out a couple times, and it's really just because they could have trimmed a lot of fat here. And it's really not the performer's fault. They are doing their best with the material that they're given. It's just a lot of this movie's faults come down to the editing, and there were a couple of times where the editing made the story confusing, and that's really not something that you want. Speaking of confusing, there were also some problems with the rules of this movie's time traveling. They really don't make sense after you break it down. The characters make a lot of stupid decisions, notably Ashley. If I had a least favorite character, it would be Ashley. I don't think that she was written very well. She just does dumb things. So for example, she's been found spying on somebody and they come after her. She's got a bike with her, so logically, you would hop on the bike and pedal for your life. Nope, she just briskly walks with the bike looking mildly panicked. It is just really stupid stuff that bothered me. It's not offensively bad. I don't hate this movie as much as I've hated other movies from this year. I just really don't think that it's any good, and I really can't recommend it. I'm gonna go ahead and give Don't Let Go a D. If you're interested in this kind of movie, if you just want to kill an hour and 47 minutes or whatever, you might get some enjoyment out of this, but I really don't think it's worth putting any money towards. So that's all I got for you for this episode of Cinema Corral. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you want to stay updated every time I upload. Sorry for all the delays recently. We had a hurricane. Fortunately, that missed us. Unfortunately, that hit the Bahamas, and it was like, 48 hours, category 5, moving at 0 miles an hour. That's insane. And then immediately after that happened, I went to San Francisco, saw Metallica play the very first concert at the Chase Center with the San Francisco Symphony. That was awesome. And then I just had a full weekend over in San Francisco. So after I get the video up for the movies that came out the week of the 6th, things will be back to normal. So until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.